sold-out Razorback Stadium here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Alabama's on the road again, this time trying to bounce back after the stunner at Ole Miss. The Tide has dominated Arkansas in back-to-back years, but this is a new-look Razorback team with an offense producing the most rushing touchdowns in the country. These Hogs have been getting better game by game, and these fans are ready for their breakthrough moment. They are calling the Hogs. That breakthrough almost came a couple weeks ago against Texas A&M in overtime. And they're hoping they get the big payoff that they've been waiting for. And as for the Tide, well, they haven't lost consecutive regular season games since 2007. And as you see, head coach Nick Saban leading Alabama out. This, the 100th game coaching the Crimson Tide for Nick Saban. As we say good afternoon, everybody. Glad you're with us for the start of what should be a great doubleheader of SEC action. Joe Tessitore, as always, with my partner Brock Heward, and we'll say hello to Shannon Spake in just a moment. Yes, Alabama lost last week, but they're not done. Not at all. Brock, with the remaining SEC schedule they have, everything is still right in front of them when it comes to the college football playoff.
But the playoff begins tonight. Their margin of error is very, very slim, and everybody seems to be talking about leadership. You know what I point to? Handling adversity. Yeah. This team, 3 of the last 4 times away from Tuscaloosa, has come up a loser, and that lone win was on a neutral field against West Virginia. And remember, Kirby Smart told us this week, even that game, well, they still have scar tissue remaining from some of the miscommunication. So handling adversity in what is Brett Bielema's first sellout crowd behind him will be a big part of the conversation tonight.
And literally some scar tissue when it comes to injuries at center, at running back, at linebacker for Alabama. The matchup's a great one when you think of it stylistically. Arkansas, the downhill power run attack. They're the best in the SEC at running the ball. Alabama, the best run defense.
The perception is they both do it the same, and they don't. Arkansas is the one committed to that run. You're going to see 10 different schemes tonight, starting with the wham block, that outside perimeter player coming in and getting his body on the body, hat on a hat. Once again, a conversation throughout when you're as committed to the run game as Arkansas is. You will see all 3 running backs in the concept they call the lead draw. If Alabama wants to play a stalemate at the line of scrimmage, then allow Corliss and company to get downhill, run right at these guys, and I promise you that outside perimeter run with the toss sweep in a bunch formation, Alabama's going to get a handful of that tonight as well.
All plays into that right there. You see Arkansas, #1 run offense at 316 yards per game, and Bama, that run defense, giving up just 64 yards a game. The man who commits that style of play, his second year here, is head coach Brett Bielema. He's standing by with Shannon.
Thanks, Joe. Coach, you told us yesterday that you could sense a win was coming soon. What do you need to do to make that happen tonight?
We got to play 4 quarters football. It starts with these 2. We'll go into halftime and talk about it, but I like the way our guys are prepared for today.
You look around, you just told me we need to make our own legacy. It is a sold-out crowd here. Your players to react to all of this.
Well, this isn't the first big stage. You know, we had obviously opportunities early. Love to do one here at home in front of all these people that deserve it as much as anybody.
And Coach Bielema said you cannot fake confidence, you cannot fake swagger, and guys, through the mist, I could tell these players certainly have it today.
Indeed, Shannon, he mentioned the big moments at Auburn against Texas A&M, did win at Texas Tech. Alabama 56 straight weeks in the top 10. See if that gets threatened here today. Arkansas looking to break through with an SEC win, 14 straight conference losses. Arkansas won the toss, they elect to receive. Adam Griffith to kick away. You saw Corliss Marshall, number 33, took the opening kickoff back 97 yards for a score against Texas Tech. But he is backed up here and will just take a knee from the big boot of Griffith. Tonight's impact players brought to you by Chick-fil-A, and really it's an impact matchup of that big, beefy O-line against that Alabama front.
Oh, I could give you the guys, the skill positions. They've got plenty tonight on both sides. I could give you Jonathan Williams and Alex Collins and Corliss Marshall and TJ Yeldon and Amari Cooper, but I'm not. This is going to be the story tonight. In the trenches, the biggest offensive line in college football, bigger than any in the NFL, against an Alabama group that can't wait to play some of their base defense.
Brandon Allen, the junior quarterback for the Hogs, with Jonathan Williams as the feature back here. And Williams was wrapped up by Ashawn Robinson and the rest of that front group after maybe a yard and a half. So there's Brandon Allen. Hasn't thrown an interception in his last 77 pass attempts. Brock, that's 4 games without throwing a pick.
Didn't even recognize this guy on tape. Totally different quarterback than the one that I watched in person twice last year. He's improved his fundamentals. He's improved his decision making. And you know he is anxious. If he can break through for Brett Bielema in this program, break through against an SEC opponent, get that SEC win, well, the standard bearer Alabama would be a good start.
Too tight, strong right with Williams in the backfield on 2nd and 8. Play action, Allen has time downfield, and that was right off of Cyrus Jones. He was covering Demetrius Wilson.
Demetrius, the speediest of the Arkansas wide receiver crew, coming off a high ankle sprain, and if that's the case, Cyrus Jones is in his lap. I would expect these Alabama cornerbacks, as the ball gets right upon him as he turns around, I'd expect Alabama to get right into some of the press coverage, challenge some of the speed or the lack of speed that Arkansas has on the perimeter.
Third down and 8. Shallow crossing pattern as A.J. Derby comes up short at the 31-yard line. So they'll be punting away.
3rd and 8, can't live in it if you're Arkansas tonight. That's not their game. Their game, and it's why 4 yards is what they're seeking in their first down run game. They didn't get it. They get to the incompletion, 3rd and 8, and Alabama is able to play the zone coverage. Landon Collins comes up, the leading tackler, and finishes off that drive.
Sam Irwin-Hill. It's a low punt that doesn't spiral. Instead, it bounces short, and coming up to field it and muffing that ball was Christian Jones. Arkansas claims they have it. And if it is, this is a nightmare week for Jones. We'll see who comes up with it at the end of that pile. And it is Alabama ball. I think it was Parker Barano, the reserve receiver and special teamer, who had it. But think about Christian Jones, the end of the Ole Miss game, and now this is how he starts in the return game here. And now they're saying it's the other way. You saw Barano at the bottom of the pile, but then you do see it came out, and now they turn it around and say first down Arkansas.
Inexcusable. Inexcusable if you're Christian Jones and you're a senior and you've been here and you've been around it. It's now why you're -5 in the turnover ratio, and Nick Saban is asking a very simple question. Christian, why? Why would you even attempt to field that in the chaos?
Remember, he fumbled late in the game against Ole Miss on a kickoff return. Play action now, Derby. He's going to tuck and run and get a first down out of it inside the 20. Nick Saban said to us last night, Brock, he said, I don't understand it. These turnover issues we've had. Look at the margin they're dealing with this year.
And it's one thing if it's a freshman or a sophomore that's learning, and Nick's got plenty of those that are playing, but it's quite another when it's a guy that's been through so many battles, has the rings on his finger. I know from his perspective, he's trying to make a play and show some of that senior leadership, but that is a mistake and a killer on the road.
Williams now. Good blocking up front and a nice surge down to the 12-yard line, tackled by Xavier Dixon.
One of those many run schemes that Jim Chaney is going to throw at Alabama, constantly changing the picture. You're not just lining up and running at people. They got into their formation, ran their wham, showed in the open of this show, get their perimeter people to come inside and get a hat on those defensive linemen, and that's the kind of first down run success that sets up the rest of the table.
Break that huddle fast and then snap. 2nd and 5, quickly out of the backfield to the fullback Walker. And Cody Walker has that first down, and it'll be 1st and goal just a few plays after that turnover. As Jones looks on, hoping his defense can save him a bit here. Williams trying to get to the outside. That's tough to do against the pursuit of Alabama with Landon Collins and Dixon.
You can tell in this run game when those big backs, Williams, Collins, and you will see Marshall, when they've got a stutter step in the backfield, when they have to hesitate in a downhill run game, Alabama's front has done their job. Those big boys may not get a lot of tackles tonight, but freeing up to Priest and Ragland in the second level of that defense to finish it off. That hesitation in the backfield, a good sign for Alabama's push.
Into the end zone. Did he lose the ball? The bag is down as a fumble, and they are waving a touchback. That was Cody Walker, who was hit by Trey DePriest. The senior linebacker just came up huge for the Tide.
And this is going to be awfully close to whether or not he crossed the plane before DePriest ripped the ball away.
The ball carrier fumbled prior to getting to the goal line. The ball rolled into the end zone and out. By rule, this is a touchback. Play is under further review.
So Cody Walker, they say, possessed the ball, then lost it prior to going into the end zone. And of course, going out of the end zone would make it Alabama's ball. But did he catch the ball? Did he have firm control to make this a catch, Brock?
That's the only question. There is no doubt he never crossed the plane, but did he ever possess the ball? You're exactly right. Does he ever put it away here as he's turning? It looks like he's bobbling it the whole way. I think that is going to be ruled an incomplete pass. I don't see firm possession.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
So it is confirmed. And they swap turnovers here early.
Wow.
Christian Jones muffed the fumble, and Cody Walker let a touchdown slip away. Interesting one early here at Arkansas. Cody Walker, junior fullback, fumbled into the end zone moments ago. A touchback for Alabama. If you're going to pull an upset, you can't miss opportunities like that. They had one early, did the Hogs. There's Blake Sims and TJ Yeldon out there in the backfield for Bama. And Sims is going to open up with an easy pass to DeAndrew White, who turns it upfield. Glad to have him back, as Bama missed time earlier this year with an injured shoulder. And there is Blake Sims. Quarterback efficiency rating is 7th in the nation, 2nd in the SEC. The senior, who all season long everybody talked about Jake Coker, the transfer from Florida State, but it's been Sims who has guided the way for the Tide this year. 2nd and 3. That was batted down by the very active all-SEC defender Trey Flowers.
Just a really, really good football player in every phase defensively. The sack numbers aren't maybe where they've been in the past. He's the 3rd leading tackler from that defensive end position. He just has a tremendous awareness of everything going on around him, what that offense is trying to do. And the team that leads the country in passes deflected, passes broken up, adds to that.
3rd and 3. 3-step, quick game, overthrown, looking for the great Amari Cooper. 3 and out for Bama.
You can see Lane Kiffin's reaction and body language right there. You get what you want. It was 3rd and 1 to 3 a week ago at Ole Miss, where you were 0 for. And Nick and Lane have such a good sense of communication on the sidelines, but that's a pitch and a catch. And to me, that's both a little bit of a wet football as well as a young quarterback, young in experience, on the road in a tough environment, and letting that heartbeat get in the way as the ball sails out of bounds.
The super leg talented freshman J.K. Scott out to punt away, and DJ Dean back for the Hogs. A wet, sloppy day. Had to catch and mold that with the rain as an issue. But that big leg sends it down the field just fine. 58-yard punt by J.K. Scott. Arkansas back on offense when we come back. Here's Allen. Hatcher went up high, but it's incomplete. Second and 15. A little delay and a little bit of breathing room from Williams, who turns the corner and instantly gets that first down. That burst of speed for 16 yards from Jonathan Williams.
10 different run schemes and pictures, and this is going to be the lead draw. You're going to see the patience, and they love to just get a hat on a hat up front and allow the speed and athleticism of Corliss, who's different. He's got a different gear than both Collins and Williams. We thought he would play an integral role in this game today. And if Alabama wants to get in that stalemate up front and two-gap it, the Marshall's got the quickness that can make him pay.
Anderson again reading that well. As Marshall taken down.
Anderson is a
right
great
near the 25. He sure is. I like a great athleticism.
6'2", roughly 260 pounds. The redshirt sophomore. One of the advantages that Alabama does have with all of the teams now that have gone up tempo and all of the spread teams they have seen earlier this season, they have played a lot of people on that defensive front. A lot of them have gotten plenty of experience, and Ryan is very, very stout and strong.
Allen to pass on 2nd and 12. But he overthrew Wilson, who was right in that pocket between the corner and the safety coming over.
Just a little bit of zone coverage here from the Crimson Tide. Landon's playing right over the top, and they're trying to get Wilson involved in that vertical game. And that's just a miss from Allen. He's not missed a ton this year, been very, very efficient. You love the touchdown, the interception. We saw the shallow cross earlier on 3rd down where he took the shot down the field. Has not been able to hit the big play yet.
Third and 12. Allen, a little bit of pressure, extends the play, able to reset. And what an athletic play by Landon Collins to climb up that ladder. The All-America safety getting up.
He wanted the pick. But 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, not the situations that Arkansas offensively is built for, in Alabama keeping their offense in it after 2 really poor 3 and outs. The defense from the Crimson Tide steps up.
That's not Christian Jones back. That's Cyrus Jones as they came after the punt of Irwin Hill. Oh, and it touched another Bama player. That was Smith who came in and touched it. They're talking this one over. Saban's out of his mind, angry. You just can't do that, says coach. See if he was pushed into the ball or if he did it on his own.
And Cyrus is doing his job. He is screaming and yelling to get away.
First down, Arkansas. That was Alan Diabolonio, the snapper, who came down and recovered it. So 2 times now Bama's done this tonight.
And you made the point right there before the kick that you have pulled Christian Jones because of his earlier mistake, and Nick Saban is livid at his special teams. He's been livid all season with that group. Been unacceptable in that phase of the game, and yet add yet another turnover. 102nd in America coming into tonight, and going the wrong way with 2 critical special teams gaffes in the first quarter.
And get them right at the line this time with Williams. Everything they weren't for all those years and all those title runs. And now this year, the turnover margin going south on them. Look at the total plays for Arkansas. 27-6, but still nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. End of one, a wild one in Fayetteville. Stay with us. Joe Tessitore, Brock Huard, Shannon Spake with you here. Arkansas and Alabama scoreless after one, but a lot of intrigue here. Remember, Arkansas lost back-to-back games to Alabama by identical 52 zip scores. Now they've been controlling the pace, the tempo, the turnovers, but it's still scoreless. As Alex Collins is now the lone back for Arkansas. He averages 124 rushing yards a game. But he's met by that front of Alabama here. That was Trey DePriest with the tackle.
And it's a good thing the special teams unit and Blake Sims has this defense right now that has been really good in early downs. That first and second down average has been in their favor. It's why they've seen many of these third and extra long situations, which is just not what this offense is yet equipped to handle.
Third and 9, little pressure off the edge, over the middle, high and incomplete. He was looking for Hatcher.
And one of the conversations that Jim Chaney had with us yesterday, the longtime offensive coordinator, been in many different places. He's here now with Brett at Arkansas. It's just the lower body mechanics of Brandon, that when he misses, and that's pretty good, when he misses, he can usually get on that phone and tell it because he's a little too amped up. That's a good job. That ball just, unfortunately, like we've seen on both sides for these quarterbacks, getting away.
Well, punts have been the best offensive plays for Arkansas. The way Alabama's been fielding these. Irwin Hill back out there for the Hogs.
Or not fielding.
This one goes in for a touchback. See if Bama can straighten themselves out on offense when we return. No score at Razorback Stadium. TJ Yeldon. Good work, good spin, and a good gain to the 28. There's Martrell Spate. 43 tackles he came in on the year. Leads the team 4th in the SEC in tackles per game.
Just the second carry there for Yeldon after the first quarter play. You know they're going to get their running backs involved.
And for Alabama, that's their first down of the game. It comes with 13:38 on the clock. Lane Kiffin, the new offensive coordinator, he got some heat this week, some criticism by former quarterback A.J. McCarron, saying Saban's kind of putting handcuffs on Lane Kiffin like I've known Coach do in the past. Kiffin told me this morning, he said, nothing could be further from the truth. Saban gives him all the freedom. Been a great head coach to call plays for. Yeldon tackled for a loss. Darius Philon got a good push into that backfield. That's a loss of 5.
Clearly the 2 best defensive players for Arkansas, and I don't think there's any debate about it, are Philon and Flowers on that defensive line. 2 difference makers. Philon, the redshirt sophomore. Flowers, who Bielema convinced to come back to school. So very active in their run game. That was a check with me situation. A lot of communication in a no-huddle group to get all lined up for Alabama, but that surge, that push from Philon and Flowers dominated that play from the beginning.
Blake Sims just 1 of 4 for 7 yards passing, but he gets the tight end release right over the middle. O.J. Howard adding more and more. 47-yard reception by the sophomore tight end.
What a tremendous call there from Lane Kiffin. 2nd and 15. Everybody thinking you're probably going to run it to make a more manageable 3rd down. The play action pass. Tremendous execution.
Blake Sims. as he quickly tries to get to the corner, and Spate was tracking him, a gain of 4.
And what a really big drive from Lane Kiffin and his Crimson Tide. We saw Blake Sims before the drive. Very vocal, very adamant in the huddle with his teammates. And really the 2nd and 15 call, the dagger. The play action pass, all the attention, all the eyes, the linebackers downhill, the easy pitch and catch with with Howard to now put the Crimson Tide inside the 10.
2nd and 6. Derrick Henry. And he's cut down, just getting back to the line of scrimmage as Jared Collins comes in low on big Derrick Henry.
And that was a miss there. There was something in the communication, in the execution of that play. And we've not talked about it here in the first quarter and a half, but you've also got a new center, Bradley Bozeman, 75, right in the middle of that action, replacing the injured Ryan Kelly, trying to communicate in this hostile environment. I like this on a critical 3rd down. Get everybody huddled up and get on the same page.
See number 9 at the top of your screen, Amari Cooper. Such a dangerous weapon. He looked there first, but then all he saw was Trey Flowers.
It's tough for offensive linemen to block Trey Flowers. It's almost impossible for running backs. TJ Yeldon does what he can. He ducks in. He tries to get to the legs of Flowers. No chance there for Sims.
So Adam Griffith comes on for the 30-yard attempt. And that is no good. That stayed to the outside of the upright. They have struggled with place kicking. Still scoreless here in Arkansas. Missed opportunities for both teams. They've been celebrating the 50th anniversary of that 1964 undefeated national championship team. All the guys came out pregame, including Jerry Jones, the starting center back then. Forget Cowboys owner, he's proud to be an Arkansas legend this weekend. He showed up on the set of SEC Nation, proudly wearing that championship ring this morning here in Fayetteville. Reunited, that 64 team. Of course, Alabama was number 1 in the AP poll. Lost to Texas in the Orange Bowl. Alex Collins fumbles the ball, and Anderson's got it. Alabama gets the turnover here. Ryan Anderson scooped it. Left and right, folks are struggling to hold on to it.
And the big fella inside, Ashawn Robinson, working down the line, does a nice job on the cutback and punching that ball out. So Ryan Anderson, who played a good, sound first quarter of play, could scoop it up. And both teams now, 2 critical fumbles. Ashawn showing up in a big, big way. And this defense, we said it throughout that first quarter, really allowing the offense, the special teams to have some life, and now setting them up with tremendous field position.
So moments ago, there was the sack on 3rd down, then the missed field goal by Adam Griffith, and now a second chance for Bama's offense. Play action, Sims, downfield, should have been intercepted again. Alan Turner this time.
Here's what's happening, Joe. You're trying to force feed Amari Cooper, and you can't. You saw it on the earlier 3rd down, and you just can't have this. You're moving Amari around, but you have got two defenders committed to him. The underneath coverage over the top. Amari sees the safety on him. He quits on the route. You can't continue to take those risks and force it just because he's your best player.
Yeldon bottled up, maybe a gain of 1. Trey Flowers was waiting on him.
Kiffin was really honest with us this week about Blake Sims more than anybody else. And playing quarterback at Alabama, you're going to be the center of a lot of conversation and attention. But Blake has been so good in his decision-making at home. It's been these situations on the road, and right now he looks like a rattled quarterback.
Remember, new center Ryan Kelly is out. That's Bradley Bozeman with Sims he was checking with. 3rd and 9. Inside the 5 and stretching for the end zone, and a touchdown. TJ Yeldon, the extra effort, makes it a score.
And if you're rattled, if you're uncomfortable, then you better get back to what you do best. And for Blake Sims, it is his creativity. It is his movement. It's not playing within the pocket and making decisions. It's extending plays and getting outside. And what a tremendous effort for TJ there as he crosses the plane. Just a simple little check down, just an outlet that Blake Sims kept alive because he kept his poise, unlike the previous 2 third downs.
Griffith makes it 7-zip. Remember the turnover on one side. This time they cash in. For Blake Sims, his 9th touchdown pass of the season. Here's Corliss Marshall. Taken down before the 20. Good finishes to some of those games there. And as this is complete to Keon Hatcher. Brandon Allen was struggling before that. He had 5 straight incompletions.
And he had plenty of time to get on the phones and have a conversation with Jim Chaney, his offensive coordinator, and I sure do like that call. The first down, the early down runs have been stuffed thus far to Alabama, so you come out and you're about 80+% running the ball on first down this season, and Jim mixes it up and comes with the play action pass and the chunk play down the field.
Williams stacked up. Let's go down to the field and check in with Shannon.
Joe, right about the start of the second quarter, a lot of long faces on this Alabama sideline. I saw one person who was really responsible for changing the entire mood, and that was Blake Sims. He continued to encourage his guys. Every single one of them looked him directly in the face and said, "We've got this. Let's get out there." Moments ago, as the defensive line was on their way to the field, they actually walked by the offensive line and high-fived all of them on their way out. A total change of attitude on this Alabama sideline.
I want to talk more about that leadership word you just used and what Blake Sims showed there on that last drive in a moment. Here, 2nd and 10. This is Marshall taken down out after a gain of 3. Remember the headline this week with A.J. McCarron, the former quarterback, saying this team lacks true leaders. Nick Saban said, how would he know and why would he say it when he said it? I think Blake Sims on that last drive showed that he can be a leader.
Leadership, in my estimation, and we had the good chat with Nick last night, is overcoming adversity. And that's what going on the road is all about, especially in this conference. Every single week in this division, you are going to face adversity, and they have here in the first 20 minutes of this game. But the ability to respond, that's what they didn't do in the second half in Oxford a week ago. And thus far in this first half, and that drive in particular, they sure have.
3rd down and 6. Allen. Time and gets it complete to Hunter Henry. As Arkansas crosses midfield with a reception to their tight end.
And that's a mismatch to keep an eye on. You saw it earlier on the slant route on a 3rd down conversion. You just don't have an answer at cornerback for a 6'5", 250-pound athletic tight end, especially one that can use his body like Henry can. But you've also got to get into those 3rd and manageable situations to feast on that matchup.
Can they change it? Brandon Allen's thinking so. A first down near the 15-yard line. A.J. Derby, present quarterback to a former quarterback.
I sure had the hunch sitting with Brett and Jim yesterday that if Arkansas was going to find some offensive rhythm and find some points that they've not found the last couple years, and you can see Derby imploring his teammates, it was going to be the tight ends. That's the matchup they like. That's where they feel like they've got some size and speed quotient to take advantage of Alabama's defense.
A.J. Derby actually started the game at quarterback when Allen was injured last year. Jonathan Williams able to slip through and fight his way inside the 10-yard line to the 9, tackled by DePriest.
You just love the big fellas, the biggest offensive line in college football. Denver Kirkland, he's coming around. Brett Bielema telling us yesterday he may be the best he's ever coached. A true sophomore in Kirkland that's got his weight down. He's really good. They love to get him because of his athleticism on the move, leading and paving the way and getting that critical first down yardage.
Shows Arkansas over Miami and Florida State, one of the first big recruits for Bielema when he signed on. But for Bielema to say one of the best he's ever coached, think of those great linemen at Wisconsin. Play action on 2nd and 4. And that was Walker trying to step out. And that line needed, and it'll depend on that mark there as Ragland pushed him out. Remember, Walker fumbled the ball into the end zone for a touchback in the first quarter.
And that's a pretty favorable spot to my eye, the first look at it. Nice job of readjusting, and we've seen that now with different tight ends. Hunter Henry's done it a couple different times. That's not an easy play for a fullback, Cody Walker, to come back on a throw behind him there, forcing the measurement.
Boy, that is close. And they're marking it just short. 3rd and inches. Williams, 1st and goal, Razorbacks.
Couple fumbles aside, some misses, some poor decisions for both teams. And yet both Alabama on that previous drive showing some real guts and resolve to overcome adversity, and Arkansas doing the same. Putting together their most complete drive, started with the first down pass and a good mix of run and pass, and this is what they're built for, these down distances.
Play action out of the I formation, bootleg. Allen cuts back to the inside, spins, and was drilled. I mean, just absolutely driven back by Robinson.
Ashawn's come to life. He's played his best game yet that I have seen this season. Been very, very active. He forced the fumble earlier. And you can see it looks like Petway unfortunately pulls up here, and yeah, he twists his ankles, but that overall pursuit there from the Crimson Tide. And when you get 300-pounders running sideline to sideline, you know your group is playing hard defensively.
He hit him so hard, I think the 6 flew off his helmet. He's down to an 8. 2nd and goal. Here's the toss. There's the block, and there's the score. Jonathan Williams.
I would imagine those first points in a couple years against Alabama feel pretty good. Shutouts, goose eggs the last 2 seasons in a sustained drive. Finishing it now with the 9th touchdown run for Williams on the season, the most in the SEC.
That was blocked. John Henson's extra point attempt denied.
So's this Alabama team. A couple uncharacteristic from years past turnovers in their special teams game, an inability to run the ball. Going to be some serious adjustments to make here for the Alabama, maybe even more than Arkansas in the second half.
Let's go down to the field to Shannon.
Coach, you talked a lot about adversity yesterday. How do you think your team is handling the adversity in this game?
Well, we've created a lot of adversity for ourselves. You know, two really bad, sort of turnovers on special teams, and defense has played great and pulled us out a couple times. They put together a good drive. We're gonna have to control the ball more on offense. Throwing, catching, running the ball. We haven't been able to run the ball effectively, so we got a lot of work to do here.
When you look at the special team mistakes, how do you guys correct those in the second half?
Well, I don't know what you do when the guy punts the ball 25 yards and everybody's trying to get away from it and hit somebody. But the guy made a bad error trying to pick up the ball in traffic, so that's discipline.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Coach Saban frustrated with the 2 turnovers, the sloppy special teams, and only 11 rushing yards. 7-6 Bama. Let's join Reese, Mark, and Lou for the Buick halftime report. Gentlemen, take it away. It's a great Saturday night to be watching the SEC on ESPN. Joe Tessitore alongside Brock Heward. 7-6 Bama. Thanks to a blocked extra point. Nick Saban came off the field at the end of the first half. He was upset about miscues and turnovers and special teams, and yet Arkansas failed to capitalize all the way.
Kind of sloppy game,
yeah,
but a little bit of what we expected. Two teams that are very, very physical, and the sentiment around here yesterday in Fayetteville was Alabama wasn't going to give you this game. You're going to have to go out and earn it and take it from them. You're down 7-6, and realistically, you could very easily be up 17-7 in this game.
Remember, 14 straight SEC losses for this much improved Arkansas team, and number 7 in the country's trying to bounce back after the road loss to Ole Miss last week. Alabama only had 11 yards rushing in that first half. Amari Cooper, a Heisman candidate, only had 1 catch for 12 yards, but they will be on offense to start things off.
You have to find a way to hang your hat on something in the run game. You've got nothing. For this quarterback on the road in this scheme and system, they must develop, as Nick Saban said going into halftime to Shannon, they must develop some of that run game to possess the ball, because this defense has been on the field twice as long as their opponent's defense.
Landon Collins and Christian Jones back deep. And here's Jones. Let's check in with Shannon.
Well, Joe, you heard Coach Saban say really the word for this second half is discipline. For Coach Bielema, it is all about capitalizing. He walked out of that locker room, and we saw it yesterday, confident. Confidence is continuing through the second half. He said, my players have waited a very long time to be in this opportunity with just 1 point separating them from this Alabama team. We've got to capitalize on that opportunity we have in front of us.
That Bama offense with Kiffin down on the field, that's new for him. He says it works out better with Blake Sims and his lack of experience early this season to be there and talk with him and coach him up. As they'll start on the ground with T.J. Yeldon, who barely gets back to the line of scrimmage as Trey Flowers makes the tackle.
You have to find some run game. I mean, you just must do it. Whether it is your scheme, whether it's consistently calling it, you will hear every offensive coordinator say, in order to run the ball, you have to have that conviction to run it. You know Arkansas is going to do that. Alabama's done it. They did it well a week ago. And you can see the first half struggles. I really do believe that's built on the inability to have any run game early and put too much pressure on this quarterback.
It's been since 2008 since a run defense has played that well against Bama. Wow. Sims sacked. Darius Philon. The young man who on signing day long ago put an Alabama hat on, but he landed at Arkansas.
The two best players on this defense run a little stunt there, the tackle and stunt. They've done it for many years together. Excellent timing, execution, and now a very, very precarious situation for a quarterback that's already thrown a couple to the other team, but the Hogs just dropped those.
He grew up in Mobile, and he's getting after the Tide. 3rd and 22. Just a safe screen. Yeldon tries to cut it back. Does a nice job of it. Back near the original line of scrimmage.
And those are going to have to be some of the first down calls, I think, as this game moves along. An excellent block out there by Taylor, the right guard. TJ does his best, but the first down run being stuffed again and again and again has just set up really difficult conversations like these. I don't care who you have playing quarterback, 3rd and 22 on the road. Impossible.
Well, here comes that big vertical swing of the 6'4" punter, J.K. Scott. And that big bounce again goes inside the 20. 54-yard punt this time from Scott. Jonathan Williams tackled by Ragland. This week's rankings brought to you by Allstate. Last week was so disruptive in college football, and there's been some wild action already this afternoon. The headline make an event, of course, is what Mississippi State did. You can cross off number 2, and you agree with me, Brock. Mississippi State's got the best resume in the country.
They do. They're the most balanced team. I don't think anybody can really debate that right now. And this isn't about Florida State and all the games they've won in a row and everything they did last year. This is about the resume this season.
Allen downfield, but to the outside of Hatcher. Coverage came from Cyrus Jones.
Really good coverage once again. Cyrus doing a nice job not being fooled by the formations or the run or everything that Arkansas likes to do with some of their what we call window dressing before the snap. Eye discipline. Kirby Smart talked an awful lot about it this week. Having the composure and the poise. You're not going to get thrown at you 40 times. But when Arkansas takes their shots, you just have to be disciplined. That's a couple occasions now where Cyrus has really done his job well.
Kirby Smart, longtime defensive coordinator for Nick Saban. As he gives the signals here on 3rd and 9, look like they may be coming up that A-gap. And here they come. And there goes Hatcher for a Hogs first down.
That's a play that Brandon Allen doesn't make a year ago. It just that the growth that he has played at this position to know where everybody is on the field. You called it, the inside pressure right up those A-gaps in his face. He doesn't panic. He retreats. He's able to fit it in there in front of Dixon, who's dropping in that zone blitz coverage. It's a big-time 3rd down conversion.
As Collins gets to work, and he's met by Ragland.
Feels like Arkansas's kind of game. And if you were to have told Brett Bielema, sure, he would have loved the execution and some of the fundamental breakdowns that they've had. But if you were to tell him, you'd have a 2-to-1 time of possession, 2-to-1 plays, and so much control from that aspect of it. With 5 minutes to go before the 4th quarter, I think Bielema takes it
all day long. They're in position to strike. Allen. And tried to get it to Hunter Henry, who was giving him an option, but he floated beyond the sideline there.
Play here from Alabama defensively. I think part of the reason you have seen the aggressiveness in the blitzes, as you saw in the previous 3rd downs, Nick Saban's trying to force the issue. He knows right now his offense is lacking some identity. Let's see if he pulls the trigger, tries to force some of the playmaking from his defensive side as well.
3rd and 8. So the man in the middle, trade to Priest there. And Derby's got the first down. A.J. Derby then hits the speed. How about that? Did he stay in? Touchdown, Arkansas!
Our week typically starts off with a phone call to one another on a Monday. Joe, as you had conversations and start to look at games and some of the tape, and we'll talk throughout the week. And you said to me on Monday, A.J. Derby has found a home.
And tight end.
Started his career at Iowa. Thought he was a quarterback. Went to junior college. Came here as a quarterback. Made the transition. Got the scholarship this fall. And you said he's going to make an impact. And sure enough, he makes, to this point, the biggest play in the game.
Look at the athleticism and separation. That young man played quarterback last year, but yet he was striding. He was separating. He kept his balance, and he did this. Oh, we got something brewing in Fayetteville. Bama hasn't lost consecutive regular season games since '07. They're trailing Arkansas late in the third here by 6.
Offense coordinator Jim Chaney is yet to beat Nick Saban in Alabama as a coordinator either at Tennessee or here at Arkansas, but he guesses right. He expects pressure. It's man pressure. You can see Geno Smith, the safety there. He's got to sift through some of the mess in front of him. And the speed and the athleticism of the former quarterback and the play call. Expecting pressure, expecting man, and getting to your beater, your man beater, your blitz beater. And finally, a little bit of execution for Arkansas as well in a big moment, putting a big 7 on the board.
And there's a short kick to a middle man and a tough transition there with Landon Collins. Ball is loose. And Anderson scoops it up. Boy, he stayed calm and controlled there, Ryan Anderson. That would have been another special teams turnover by Bama.
And no pun intended, but at some point you think the tide is going to turn here on your special teams. Your punt return, your kickoff return, the challenges you've had, the immense challenges in that phase of the game. And you saw it from Nick Saban, almost a look of exasperation going into halftime with the special teams. They coach it, they teach it, they've done the same thing year after year after year, but just poor execution now, a season-long theme in that phase of the game.
Yeldon to the boundary side, well blocked, and look at the balance of T.J. Yeldon.
And finally, Joe, finally some execution in your run game. Nothing, 1 yard coming into this drive, and finally TJ is able to really run their bread and butter. What they do best, what they have to get to, that outside zone run with both he and Henry.
That was their first down of this second half. And it comes just before the end of the third quarter. They keep it with Yeldon. And he was wrapped up by Darius Philon. Ball came out at the end there. And then went out towards that Bama sideline.
That's a big 4-yard difference if indeed it went out.
They're marking that thing back at the 45.
Here we go.
End of 3. Here we go. Arkansas's moment or Bama's comeback. Let's stick around to find out, folks. Oh, 2 in the SEC is Arkansas. 0-8 last year. Only 24 rushing yards for Alabama. 2nd and 10, Sims. As he throw it low but complete that time to Jalston Fowler, his talented fullback.
This has been a problem area. 0 for 3 a week ago against Ole Miss. Missed earlier on a 3rd and short situation.
See Sims looking over at Lane Kiffin. 3rd and 1. Plenty of time on the play clock. Are they going to call a timeout here?
You better be
or
real
settle
careful.
down and get this thing going. Gets the call in. And it's Derrick Henry. Off right tackle, lowering the shoulder, and a Bama first down. 8-yard run by Derrick Henry.
Amari Cooper is the best, most talented player on this offense.
Undoubtedly.
In my opinion, number 2 and 3 are your 2 running backs, Yeldon and Henry.
Cooper only has 1 catch for 12 yards tonight.
Offside, 34 on defense. Result of the play is a first down.
That's Braylon Mitchell, the senior there, who lined up in the neutral zone. But you just have to, and it's a pretty easy call here, obvious there. You just have to find a way. If Cooper is your best, then get to plan B and C and find some run game. Maybe it is that outside stretch zone, but you have got to commit to getting Yeldon and Henry their touches here when it matters the most.
Sims, three-step, then goes across the other side, and he gets it to Cam Sims. And that was good yards after the catch for 15 from the true freshman, Cam Sims. Alabama's not out of it, folks. Not in this year with the playoff. I know they lost last week, but everything's still ahead of them. But for now, what's ahead of them are 12 more yards to try to take this lead here in the fourth quarter against the upset-minded Razorbacks. Lost the ball for a moment and then got it to Derrick Henry.
Early in this game, Blake Sims was so zeroed in on Amari Cooper that even if he is covered, he is never coming off of him. It's one thing to want to get your best player the ball. It's quite another to throw into coverage. Watch the evolution here as this game's evolved. He wants to go to Cooper. He wants to go to Cooper. Nope. And you're going to come back. Your offense is built. This system with Lane Kiffin has some of its roots in the West Coast system. Come back. Follow your progression. There will be open receivers if you can get off of number one.
2nd and 8. Henry trying to test the middle of that defense. We're going to have a 3rd down here at the 6-yard line. Kiffin's going to dial it up, and this crowd's going to crank it up. First sellout at Razorback Stadium since Brett Bama has been named head coach. 3rd and 3. Sims to the end zone. Touchdown Tide. DeAndrew White.
Touchdown Alabama.
Brett Bielema did all he could. You could see his defense in complete disarray. He's doing all he can on the very bottom of the screen, trying to run in. He is
past the number
to the line of scrimmage, and he does not get the timeout. He can see with Brooks Ellis, his linebacker, out. Discombobulated defensively. Couldn't get the TO.
To break the tie, Adam Griffith. And he has been perfect on the year. A block PAT, the difference on the board now. Listen, they'll take it. 4th quarter, tight game with Bama. They've waited a long time to be in position like this, and Alabama has fought back admirably with Blake Sims now his 10th touchdown pass of the season as he found White. And the extra point, the margin of difference here. Bama blocked one earlier in the game. This is Hawkins here. And he's met and slammed down at the 15 by Ragland. All you want is a chance when you're a team like Arkansas. Upset-minded. Well, they got their chance right here. Brandon Allen. As he goes to Arinze, the backup fullback, to get this drive going. Remember, 56 straight weeks in the top 10 for Alabama. Here they are at number 7, having lost to Ole Miss, but yet everything in front of them when it comes to the college football playoffs. And Arkansas, yes, they've been trending in the right direction. The program ascending with Brett Bielema, but still 14 straight SEC losses. 2nd and 4 now. Allen, shallow cross, was way off the mark, looking for A.J. Derby. So it'll be 3rd and 4. As Reed tried to get up there.
And you've seen back-to-back passes to open this very critical drive. And on back-to-back possessions, you have seen the 4-man rush for Alabama really get home. I think you continue to stick with that plan until they prove otherwise. Help those guys out in coverage.
3rd and 4. They only bring 4. And that was thrown behind his intended target, Sprinkle, the tight end.
And those are a couple misses, and we talked about the quiet lower body. Those are back-to-back throws there where this moment gets pretty big. And you've got to keep your composure in the pocket. The 4-man rush is coming up around him, but hitch, and then that ball thrown low, unfortunately, for Arkansas.
So now the punt return team for Alabama is back out on the field, and that's been an adventure all night. Cyrus Jones want to secure this thing. Sam Irwin Hill to punt away. Puts that away and gets to the ground. And why are we in this position? Because earlier tonight, Jonathan Allen gave a little extra effort and went up and blocked the extra point attempt. That's it right there. Reaching to the sky. The Alabama defensive end. So 14-13 it stands. And Blake Sims has a chance to grab a road win here if he can burn and churn a little bit of clock. Alabama has lost 3 of their last 4 away from Tuscaloosa. Derrick Henry tripped up, but that body went forward short of the 50.
We see some big boys here and some beef for Alabama coming into the game. Dakota Ball there at tight end is going to take Vogler's spot. You see Leon Brown back in. To me, this is run 7 yards on 1st down on that outside stretch zone run. I'd continue to focus on that. That will set up the rest of your offense.
Yeldon on 2nd and 3. He's going to be right near that line, maybe just a half yard short, tackled by Spate.
Alabama is not who they have been up front. Not even close to the 2012 group, but they are still good enough.
Well, how about Ryan Kelly, starting center, who's out? They talked about that all week long. Lane Kiffin said, if you ask me one guy we can't lose, it would be Ryan Kelly. Sims. Those feet are getting some work. Diving for it, and the mark is well short, so that penalty was costly. Josh Williams pursued him and pushed him out. So 4th down here.
Don't even think about it. You punt this ball down there and you make this team go some distance to get some points.
J.K. Scott will come out again. And we'll take those last few seconds off. Takes a bounce inside the 20. And Arkansas will be setting up shop starting at the 14-yard line. Reese, 2:50 to play here. Arkansas trailing by 1. That's Adam McFain. He won the job this week. He warmed up hitting a 51-yarder earlier tonight. Brandon Allen.
This 4-man rush has been such the difference here in this 4th quarter of play, in my opinion. Just the understanding that, like Jim Chaney said, the offensive coordinator from Arkansas, you got to go out there and you've got to execute. And you've got 5 offensive linemen that are more built to run the ball and sustain your run game than these situations and necessarily block. When 4 get home and affect the quarterback, it is hard to find completions.
Allen, look at the time he has. Directing traffic and then throwing it away. Been so many missed opportunities, missed scoring opportunities for Arkansas. Like this to start the game. Fumbled through the end zone by Cody Walker and a touchback. The bad snap and bad hold that goes for nothing. And then the difference on the scoreboard in the game, the block PAT by Jonathan Allen of Alabama. Third and 10. That's a first down for the Razorbacks. Hunter Henry, their tight end.
And they finally get to one of the matchups they do like, that they do feel that their big tight end can win in one-on-one situations. You see some zone coverage there, and Hunter does an excellent job of both pressing that route past the first down marker and finding that little void in the zone to move the chains.
First down and pass again. Oh, and he went up for it, but they're saying it is incomplete, that Henry was out of bounds, as Perry had coverage there. Watch the foot here of Henry. And foot is on the white. That's a good look by the official there, right on top of it. Second down now. Allen wanted to slant that time with Wilson. Off time, off the mark.
Nice play there by Eddie Jackson as well. In the final 10 minutes of that game at Ole Miss, it was Tony Brown, the true freshman, that got picked on. And that is all Eddie Jackson. He's reading the route. He sees the high pads of Wilson, the in cut, and he jumps it, no chance. And once again, very precarious 3rd and 10 for a team much more equipped and built to run it than these known passing downs and situations.
Allen on 3rd and 10. Cross the field and picked off. What a play by Landon Collins, the All-America safety. He tried to go all the way to the other side of the field to Williams, floated it, and Collins made him pay the price.
And you could feel some of that coming, Joe. Just some of the desperation there, that you're dropping back time and again. The rush is getting to you. The timing of your routes and progressions, you've got nothing coming, feeling like you have got to force the issue. And if you're going to make that throw, you better be number 1 Aaron Rodgers, or number 2 set your feet where your guy can get it or nobody gets it, because Collins showing you why he's an all-conference, all-American kind of performer.
Yeldon just beyond the line of scrimmage. Remember, Arkansas only that timeout left. Little boot here with Blake Sims, and that's what he can offer you up as he goes for 7 yards. Been a little chippy down there in what's been a really tightly contested game here in Fayetteville. And that clock running down, play clock running down. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 2. As Bama is trying to just survive and advance. One last chance for Arkansas. Try to get a stop here on 3rd and 2. Well, there's movement up front. That's just sloppy by Ari Kwanjo. So that helps Arkansas.
False start. Number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty. Down remains 3rd.
Pre-snap penalties. Substitution penalties. A senior here. A 5th-year redshirt senior. Christian Jones, a senior for you. Some of your players that have been there and done it over and over and over again, just not executing the mental aspect of this game.
So now it's 3rd and 7. Here's Yeldon. And Yeldon, ball came out, but they're marking him down about a yard short. Try to put this thing away. Now there was a penalty before, and I believe that clock was running down. They don't have to run a play here. The way that scenario played out, coming off of that penalty, they ran down the clock. Brett Bielema wants an explanation as well.
He's one of many of them tonight.
So that's it. Arkansas 15 straight SEC losses. Oh, so close. Just a blocked extra point away. But number 7 Alabama, everything's still in front of them, folks. You just got to survive in college football nowadays. 14-13 for Shannon Spake, Brock Hewitt. I'm Joe Tess. Enjoy the rest of your night. That's it from Fayetteville. More SEC football to come your way.